Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Avery, give us your scouting report for Fernando Mendoza.
Here's the thing. I think he is. I want to preface this by saying I do think he is the top prospect. I think he is probably the biggest game changer in the draft. However, that being said, this feels a little bit like the Trubisky situation, and not exactly the same. It's definitely not a one-to-one comparison, but more like, okay, where was this guy ranked? Coming out of Cal. And then you see him here at Indiana, and as insane of a season as it was, it is kind of a question of, okay, was this Mendoza? Was this the coach? Was this different? I mean, he had an incredible season, but it was one of those things as a Oregon fan who had to endure this game twice. There was something about that didn't really seem like a superstar player necessarily. I'm not saying he isn't, but it was something that it was so well coached and such a great game plan that we just got exposed everywhere. And normally, I mean, any NFL defense, any football defense, it's like, yeah, there's going to be weaknesses. The trick is, can the quarterback, find it? And maybe that is what it is. What I'm curious to see, and it's really just this next season, is, okay, is Indiana going to be just as good? Is it more of a system? Is Fernando Mendoza just a product of a great system and a great coach? Or is he actually a great, as good as advertised? Meaning if you swap any other quarterback that's, at least a decent, draft prospect, and you put him at Indiana, would he have had just as good a season? Is basically what I'm coming at. And so I feel like a lot of the reason he is the number one, and I don't just mean number one, but like unanimous number one pick, is because of the season he had. But it wasn't just him. I mean, yeah, I think the scramble he had was incredible. I think he's very, very deserving of it. But I think next season will be interesting to see. Okay, Signetti and Mendoza, kind of like Brady and Belichick. It's like, hey, who's really pulling the most weight here? So having said that, I think he's got all the physical tools. I think his mentality is great. I think the fact that he's just seems to just want to get to work and just seems like a great positive influence in the locker room. I mean, I don't think it's a question he should be number one. I would just like to see, okay, you had a really good situation last year. Let's see how you do in Las Vegas with the Raiders. So I'm curious to see it, but I do still feel like he is the number one.
Yeah, I really like Fernando Mendoza a lot. I think he's very smart and he's got a very high football IQ. I think he processes things very well, both pre and post snap. So he's able to diagnose coverages very well, and he understands what he needs to do to effectively attack a defense. He was the most efficient quarterback in college football last year with a rating of 182.9, which is higher than Jackson Dart was in 2024, which is one of the reasons why I loved Jackson Dart. So he was more efficient than Jackson Dart was in 2024. One of the things I love most about Fernando Mendoza, too, is he's very, very accurate. He specifically is accurate in short to mid-range throws, and in the season, he completed 73% of his passes. He had 6 games this year where he completed over 85%, and 3 more games where he completed over 91%, which is crazy. And the reason why he's so good at his accuracy is because his ball placement is elite. In my long history of being a scout, this is the number one quarterback that I've seen with ball placement. He has elite ball placement, specifically outside the numbers. He is probably the best back shoulder passer that I've seen going into the NFL draft. His back shoulder throws are insane. Ball placement is perfect every time. He gives his guy the opportunity, and only his guy the opportunity, to catch the ball. He is very, very good with ball placement and accuracy. One thing I love about him, too, is he is very poised in the pocket. He is a more traditional quarterback. He does have some movement ability, but he's more of a traditional quarterback versus one of these guys like a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. He stands in the pocket. He delivers the ball. He's tough inside the pocket. He stands there. He takes hits, and it doesn't seem like it phases him. There's really a lot to like about Fernando Mendoza, but specifically, I think how smart he is and his quick mental processing is really where he wins the game.
I guess it means it's my turn. Hey guys, I'm here too. I'd like to agree and disagree with both of you guys. I think, and maybe this is what you meant, Avery. I think he's the clear number one pick. I don't think, and this is getting ahead of us here. I don't think he's the best prospect in the draft. There's no
I
way the
agree with you,
Raiders.
Will. I agree with
There's
you.
no way the Raiders don't take him. You can't. You can't not take this guy. At 6'5", he's got good enough arm talent for the NFL. He doesn't have. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not slinging the ball 85 yards on the field. That's an exaggeration. Don't at me. But as Joel said, he puts the ball right where he needs to every time. He makes the smart throws. I disagree with you a little bit, Joel. I don't think he's. I think he's easily upsettable in the pocket. I don't even know if that's the right way to put it. I think that when the pressure gets to him, he starts to, I don't want to say panic, but he starts to look for the way out. That's when he starts to run with. That's when he starts to scramble. Rather
Well,
than,
that's the thing. So that's the thing I didn't get to yet is while he's in the pocket, if he has time in the pocket to deliver the ball, he is very, very accurate. But
yeah, absolutely.
when he gets pushed out of the pocket, he's not as much. His completion percentage drops significantly when he gets moved off of his spot and has to move outside of the pocket. It drops down to 53.2%. So where the Raiders are really going to have to help him is build his offensive line, because if they don't, the Raiders are going to be doing a huge disservice to Mendoza. But I think that Clint Kubiak is going to be the perfect coach for Mendoza going into the NFL because he just worked with Sam Darnold. And what was a big thing that everybody said about Sam Darnold for a long time? When he gets pressure, he's not good. But that wasn't the case with Clint Kubiak as his offensive coordinator. So Clint Kubiak's coming from Sam Darnold, where everybody said he couldn't handle the pressure. Same thing with Mendoza. If Mendoza goes into Las Vegas and he has a good offensive line around him, Clint Kubiak will figure out how to get the best out of Fernando Mendoza. I just think that when he has a clean pocket, he's able to stand in the pocket, step up, set his feet, deliver the ball accurately. But when he gets flushed out, you're correct. That is where he struggles a little bit.
Right. And okay, so I guess we're on the same page there. I think my favorite thing about Mendoza is that if you look at his mechanics at Cal and you look at his mechanics at Indiana, and this goes to speak with what you were saying, Avery, is that he's very coachable. He's willing to take what he has, what he fundamentally has, and improve on it. He's not set in his ways. His even down to like his stance taking the snap. They shortened up his stride. They got him more compact, ready to take and get ready to throw the ball. And so I think, like you said, Joel, I think Kubiak's going to do a good job of taking that and expanding on it. Now, again, like you said, Avery, going from Cignetti to a first-time head coach, that's going to be a big adjustment, especially on the Raiders, who were abysmal. I mean, just abysmal. So I'm afraid we're going to get a Marcus Mariota type where all the talent in the world goes to a bad team, constant change in coordinators, constant change in coaching, and it just never really works out. And that's the problem. I actually have written here one of his downfalls is that he's too good in college to be good in the NFL. Because when you're too good in college as a quarterback, you go to the NFL, and if the team isn't already built around you to step into, chances are you're not going to be overwhelmingly successful. Now, there are a large number of cases where that's just not true. But more recently, that has been the case where you are really good in college and you just don't pan out in the NFL because your situation you're stepping into is not right. I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Dan Orlovsky said, maybe it wasn't him, but I think it was Dan Orlovsky that said, teams fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail their teams because they just don't set them up into good
Absolutely.
scenarios. And the Raiders just traded away their best wide receiver last year to the Jaguars. And so now they've got, it's not that they don't have nobody, but they basically have nobody as a receiver. You've got Brock Bowers, you've got Ashton Genty. They need help. That team's going to need more than just Mendoza.
Raiders fans will tell you that it doesn't matter because they have $100 million in cap space. And I just keep telling them there's no guarantee that anybody's going to sign with you. So
yeah, no one wants to play in Las Vegas because they've been bad. You're not getting the veterans to come there because you don't have win right now potential.
right. And I just have one more thing to say about Fernando Mendoza. Something that he needs to work on is his improvisation. I think that's where he could really struggle, which is kind of similar to when he has to get out of the pocket. But he's not like a Josh Allen or a Caleb Williams or a Patrick Mahomes where he's escaping from all these guys. he struggles with improvisation, and that's due to him not being an elite athlete. He's a functional athlete, but he's not an elite athlete. Like Josh Allen is an elite athlete. Lamar Jackson is an elite athlete. Mendoza is not, although he is more mobile than people think he is. So he can make plays with his legs. I do think that his rushing plays that he makes are more from his quick mental processing, though, than from his athletic ability. So when he runs, I think he reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield. May not be the perfect comp, but he reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield because when he is running out of the pocket, he's making plays with his legs. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the best athlete, but when he needs to run, he will run and he will run tough. So although it's something that he doesn't need to work on, his rushing ability is something that I do actually really like about Fernando Mendoza as well.